James, please may you allow me to share my screen?
You can try.
Okay. All right. That's good. Right. Hello, guys. Welcome to our lecture. 1 second. Right. We are going to look at topic 1 of our module, which is business management 1. And then the first topic is the business world and business management. Business world and business management. Okay, 1 second. Right, let's get started. So we are saying businesses, they need to employ various resources to provide the required products and services. We know that we have businesses that provide services and others that provide products. So they need to use various resources for them to be able to provide the services or the products. So this activity of business does not happen in a void. It is part of an economic system of a country, and in terms of globalization, needs to fit into a broader global ecosystem, economic system. The external environment of a business can be influenced. Any business is situated and it operates in a local environment, which is situated in a global economy. We say we have local environments in which businesses operate, and those local environments, they are found in a global economy. A global economy is the economy that is constituted, that consists of various small economies of different countries. So developments in the global economy shape the local environment, and the local environment determines the ability of an organization for paying its costs. The local environment can present opportunities that, if exploited, make it easier for the organization to attain its goals. It can also give rise to threats that make attaining goals more problematic. By saying there are opportunities in local environments, so an organization can make use of those opportunities, then use them to attain its goals. But however, there are also threats that are found in the local environments. So these can prevent an organization to attain its goals. Therefore, managers need to an understanding of the environments that confront their business, to take advantage of the opportunities and make use of their strengths. This is achieved by using human resources. We're saying managers of businesses, they need to understand the environments in which their businesses operate, so that they can take advantage of the opportunities that are in those environments, and then make use of their strengths, so that they can be competitive. Right, the main economic systems. We want to look at the main economic systems and the systems that are found in in an economy. The needs that exist in a society are classified as physical and psychological needs. We have physical needs and psychological needs in society. Physical needs, these are the basic needs that we need to survive. Without physical needs, we cannot survive. And then psychological needs, these are the things that makes our life, things that make our life pleasant. But without them, we can survive.
In a sense, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you please just ask everyone to mute their mics, because it just keeps on interfering and then we can't hear a word that you say.
Sorry?
Can you please just ask everyone to mute their mics?
Okay, all right. Please, everyone, may you mute yourselves. There's some noise that is coming and then it's affecting others. Make sure you are on mute. There is one who is not on mute. Please make sure you're on mute, everyone. All right, thank you. All right, so we are saying in society, we have physical needs and psychological needs. And then physical needs, these are the basics that are needed to survive. Without physical needs, and then we cannot survive. And then we have psychological needs. These are just there to make our lives pleasant. Without psychological needs, we can survive. But they just make our lives pleasant. Physical and psychological needs may overlap. For example, we do not only wear clothes to warm ourselves. We know that clothes, they are what physical needs. We need clothes to wear our clothes to keep ourselves warm. But clothes can also make our lives pleasant. That is when we wear them to look what fashionable. So this is when physical and psychological needs overlap. You're wearing clothes as a physical need. You're also wearing clothes as a psychological need. So in those circumstances, we say physical and psychological needs overlap. These human needs must be met with limited resources such as equipment, facilities, raw materials, water, etc. We have these human needs, which are physical needs and psychological needs. Businesses must meet these needs using the limited resources that we have or that the businesses have. For example, equipment, facilities, raw materials, water, etc. These resources are limited. So businesses should always try to meet human needs using these limited resources. Resources are categorized in terms of natural resources. We know natural resources. These are okay naturally. For example, we have land, minerals, forests, water. These are natural resources. And then we have human resources that are provided by human beings through labor. We have talent, we have skills. These are human resources, what we provide as human beings. And then we have capital resources, such as buildings, machinery, computers, and other equipment. These are capital resources that are needed by businesses to provide goods and services. And then we have entrepreneurship, which is a collective capacity of entrepreneurs to take risks and provide products and services. Right, so these are the types of resources that we have: natural resources, human resources, capital resources, and entrepreneurship. So each community is engaged in a struggle for survival due to scarcity of resources. We know that resources are scarce. So there's a struggle in each community because of a scarcity of what? Of resources. Each country needs to decide which economic system will serve the communities and the country the best. Right, let's look at the different types of economic systems that are there. Right, the first type of economic system. Right, the first type of economic system that we have is the market economy. We have the market economy. I think you know about the economies. I think from grade 7, you learned about economic systems. And so the market economy is a free market system where the needs of society is met by private organizations seeking profits. Private organizations are the ones that serve the needs of the society in a market economy. The private organizations are always seeking to make profits. The decisions about the allocation of resources are made by individuals without government intervention. In a market economy, there is no government intervention. There are no completely free enterprise or free market economy. So a market economy is also called a free enterprise or a free market economy. So we are saying in the world, there are no completely free market economies. There are no completely free market economies. But there are some countries that are said to be free market economies. Examples, we have Australia, Switzerland, Hong Kong, we have Singapore. They are said to be free market economies, but we do not have completely free market economies. You will see later on why we are saying we don't have completely free market economies. Right, we have advantages of the market economy. There is economic freedom because no government intervention. So there's market economic freedom. Competition encourages efficiency. We're saying businesses are always competing with themselves, so they'll be efficient. And then innovation is rewarded with profits. We also see innovation in free market economies, and this innovation is rewarded with profits. Successful businesses invest in each other. When one business is successful in a market economy, it invests in another business. So these are some of the advantages of market economy. And then we have disadvantages of the market economy. Competition leaves out the disadvantaged. We are saying the businesses are there to make profits, right? In a market economy, but they're always competing with themselves. And then they do not look at the disadvantaged. Because we have disadvantaged people in the economy. They need help. But now business, they focus on themselves. They don't even give attention to the disadvantaged communities in the country. And then commodity prices typically rise in a market economy. We are seeing businesses seeking to make profit, so they can increase prices of goods and services. So we have high prices for goods and and services. Economy imbalances occur frequently, right? We are saying we'll be having people who are very rich and people who are very poor. There will be a very large gap between the poor and the rich in a free market economy. Market economies tend to produce inferior goods and services, right? This is because businesses are looking towards maximize their profits. So sometimes they will hire people who have got low skills. So when they hire people who have got low skills, then what they're going to produce might be inferior. Because if they hire highly qualified people, they will need to pay higher wages. At the end, their profits will decrease. So they will tend to hire people who have got low skills. So low skilled people will produce inferior goods and services. So these are some of the disadvantages of a market economy, right? The second type of economy, we have the command economy. We have the command economy. The command economy is a centrally directed economic system, also known as communism. The state owns and controls the community resources or factors of production, right? It is the state or the government that controls the means of production in this economy, which is the command economy. Private enterprises do not own or control the resources. It's only the government or the states, right? We have countries which are said to have command economies. We have China, we have North Korea or North Korea. It's a command economy, we have Cuba, and then in Africa here, we have Libya. It's also called, it's also said to have a command economy. We have Iran, Russia. These are some of the countries that are said to have a command economy. Advantages of the command economy. What are the advantages of command economy? The state can concentrate resources towards particular ends. There is room for the better mobilization of resources because the state is controlling what is taking place in the economy. So there is room for the better mobilization of resources. Social welfare is seen as a priority. Government will always prioritize social welfare. Command economies can prevent abuse of monopoly power, right? The government may control monopolies. So no, we don't want to see monopolies in the economy. So these are some of the advantages of the command economy. And then disadvantages of the command economy. Freedom is restricted because there's government control there. There's no freedom. Enterprises do not enjoy freedom. There is low productivity. Too much control from the government, so productivity will be low. And then no competition is offered. Government is controlling. Whatever it is controlling, it is affecting what competition. Enterprises do not compete against each other. And then innovative developments might be hindered. When enterprises or businesses are not competing, then innovation is affected. Businesses might not innovate. So these are some of the disadvantages of the command economy. Right, we have socialism, another type of economy as socialism. Socialism could be viewed as a compromise between market economy and communism. Under socialism, the state owns and controls principal industries. We have principal industries in each country. For example, health services, we have transportation, we have energy, right? So these principal industries are controlled by the government under socialism. And then private industries, they are allowed to focus on less strategic matters, right? For example, trading, construction, these are the industries in which the private sector will focus on. And then those principal industries are controlled by the government. That's socialism. We have government intervention, we have private industries also in that economy. So it's a mixture of what market economy and what communism. Advantages of socialism, there is possibility of full employment, right? Because government offering employment, the private sector offering employment. So there's a possibility of full employment. It's like almost everyone will be employed. The state stabilizes economic fluctuations. When there is fluctuations in the economy, the state will help in stabilizing those fluctuations. A more equal society is more cohesive. We'll be having a more equal society because the government will always try to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor by providing social services. And then we have free education and or health care. Education will be free, health care will be free under our socialism. So these are some of the advantages of socialism or socialist economic system. And then we have disadvantages of socialism. There is little incentive for state organizations. State organizations can be unproductive, right? Those that are being controlled by the government, they might be unproductive compared to what the private organizations. And then lack of competitiveness and innovation, right? Because there is some form of government control. So competition might be less, and then this also affects innovation. When there is no competition, or when there is low competition, innovation suffers. And then difficulty to remove subsidies or government benefits. Right? The government might be providing subsidies or benefits to the disadvantaged, and then it's difficult to remove those. The government will always have to provide those subsidies or benefits to the disadvantaged. Because when the government stops providing those benefits or social services to the disadvantaged, then the gap between the rich and the poor increases. Right. So none of the three main economic systems in use occurs in a pure form anywhere. They typically occur as mixed economies. What we have in the world are mixed economies. We don't have pure economic systems. They are always mixed economic systems. So the dominant system will be incorporating some characteristics of the other systems. It might be a command economy, and then it incorporates characteristics of other economic systems. And then as an example, we have China. We say it's a command economy, but it employs also private initiative. So it's a mixed economy, right? We have South Africa. South Africa, what can you say about South Africa? Which type of economy is in South Africa? What can we say about South Africa? Which type of economic system is in South Africa?
It's a mixed.
It's a mixed, right? South Africa is got a mixed. It's a mixed economy. Why do you say it's a mixed economy? Why do you say South Africa is a mixed economy?
Because the economy is made out of the government's interference, as well as a lot of private and many different companies making their own decisions and applying business.
Right. So we
also make use of the government.
Right. So we have government control, and we also have private sector taking part in the control of resources in the country. So South Africa is a mixed economy. So we don't have pure economic systems like the pure command or pure communism. They're always mixed economies. It is important to recognize that the world of business is a complex system involving the transformation of resources into products and services to meet the people's needs, right? So we are saying businesses, companies, they transform resources into products and services. We have businesses that provide products, businesses that offer products, and businesses that provide services. So they transform the resources that are in the economy so that the consumers can get the products or the services. So this is the transformation process that we have here. We have resources, and then business transforms the resources into products and or services. Right, let's look at the nature of business management. Let's look at the nature of business management. So most economies in Africa, we talk of South Africa, we talk of Ghana, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Botswana, they are mixed economies. They are mixed economies. The nature of business management, the society is constantly faced with problems in how to use scarce resources to meet needs. We are saying resources are scarce. So when something is scarce, there will always be problems on how to use those scarce resources. Business management relates to other sciences such as economics, It is an applied science that is concerned with the study of one component of an economic system with a focus on individual organizations. Business management's task is to determine how an organization can achieve the highest possible output with the least possible input. Right, so we are saying we have scarce resources. So business management will always make sure that businesses maximize their output with the limited resources that are there. That's why we have business management. To put it differently, business management examines the factors, methods, and principles that enable a business to function as efficiently and productively as possible. Right? Business management is about examining factors, methods, and principles. So these will enable the business to what? To function efficiently and productively, given the scarce resources in the economy. While business management is said to be a young subject or young science, and its scientific basis is still the subject of debate, right? There's a debate that is business management a science or not? So this debate is still ongoing. There is no easy answer to the question of whether business management is an independent science, as there are many diverse opinions about what exactly constitutes a science. Right, so it's still an ongoing debate whether business management is a science or not. So let's look at the characteristics of a science. The most common definitions of a science emphasize different characteristics. Business management is continually being tested in the light of these characteristics to determine whether it merits the status of a science. Right. The most outstanding characteristic of a science is a clearly distinguishable subject of study that forms the nucleus of a discipline. So does business management satisfy this? This is the first characteristic of a science. So business management completely satisfies this condition, particularly with regard to business organizations. So we can say from this first point, we can say business management is what? Is a science, because it is satisfying this first characteristic of a science. And then the other characteristic of a science, the fundamental characteristic of a science is that it should be independent of other sciences. It should be independent of other sciences. Business management is its own identifiable subject of study, and from this point of view, may be regarded as a science. So from the second point there, business management is said to be a science because it is satisfying the second characteristic of a science. Number three, a third characteristic of a science is that it is a uniform, systematized board of knowledge, of facts, and scientific laws, and that its laws and principles are constantly tested in practice. In this regard, business management encompasses a great deal of systematized knowledge found. Right, so the third characteristic, business management, is also satisfying the third characteristic of a science. So we can say business management is a science. And then the final purpose of a science is to produce generally accepted theory. In this regard, business management does not yet satisfy the requirements of an independent science. Right? So the business management is satisfying the first characteristic of a science, the second one, the third one, but from the last one, it is not satisfying it. It is not satisfying it. So this is how we can check to see whether business management is a science or not. So we can say it's a science because it is satisfied three of the characteristics of a science. And then the last one is still ongoing research about the last one. So maybe later on, it will be said that it is also satisfying this last characteristic. Right. So this was just an introduction to our business management one. There is our summary there. Just want to look at question 1.1 from our assignment. So assignment question 1.1 says, Erasmus and others described business management as a young science, which could be regarded as an independent science based on the characteristics of science. Comment on this statement. Comment on this statement, right? So we want to see whether business management is a science or not. So it's comment on this one. So when you are writing an essay that is got 10 or more marks, you must have your introduction, you must have your board and a conclusion. So today we're not going to look deep into this. I think we will address the assignment later on, but this is just a look at question 1.1. The introduction says, indeed, business management is a young science as it follows a systematic board of knowledge like science. However, it is an independent science and cannot be likened to other physical sciences such as physics and chemistry. It is an independent science mainly because it deals with human beings and is very difficult to predict their behavior accurately, right? So we need to look at the characteristics of a science that we mentioned earlier on, and then see if business management satisfies those those characteristics, and then we just comment on whether business management is a science or not, based on the characteristics that we were given earlier on. So the first characteristic is about, we said a science is a clearly distinguishable subject of study that forms the nucleus of a discipline. And then we comment that business management is satisfying this condition. So we can say business management is a science, right? You can say business management is an independent science. And then we have other characteristics that we mentioned, characteristic number 2, number 3, and the final one. We also mention, we write about the characteristic, and then we write whether business management satisfies that characteristic or not. And then we say it is an independent science when it satisfies a certain characteristic of a science, right? So this is question 1.1, which had 12 marks. So next time we have a look at the assignment, right? Each question of the assignment, I think, is coming from a different topic. So question 1 is from this topic. So we'll address question 1 completely next time, and then we'll look at how we are going to structure our assignment for 1.1 and 1.2. And then when we are done, we go to question 2, which is covered in topic number 2. We also look at how we write that question. We also cover the overall assignment structuring. How do we write our assignment? What should we do? Referencing, page numbers, all those things, we will look at them. Right, so today it was more of an introduction to our business management module. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining. Let's meet next week. Next week, we are going to look at topic number 2 of our module. Any questions?
Hi, Innocent. Can I ask a
Hello?
question?
Yes.
Yes. With your tuition fees and stuff and so. With regards to the assignment, will you go through the complete assignment, as now said, but then in terms of exams, what is your plan towards exams?
Yes, we will also cover, we have some questions, typical exam questions. So look at some typical exam questions before you write the exam. We'll look at
Okay,
some
and is that
typical exam questions, and then we'll advise you on what you should do when you are in an exam room.
okay? And do you have like from examples of what we should obviously this book is large, so not everything can be in the exam. So would you be able to guide us which chapters, topics? Do you have that sort of knowledge in terms of
Actually,
studio?
Hello?
don't.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Ino.
Yes.
Let me take that
yes.
one.
Okay.
Yes. As be a studio, towards the exam, your lecturers will tell you which chapters to watch for in the exam. You guys can advise us what your lecturers have talked about, and then we can focus on that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Thank you.
All right.
James, just a quick one. I've emailed the lectures from Stadio, and Luffy came back and said that we need to focus on chapter 1, 6, 7, and 10. So long. Mainly, he said just focus on the assignment, but once you're done with the assignment, you can look at these chapters. So that is what he said.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. You can just send me on WhatsApp the response that you got so that I can just give it to Ino so that he can prepare for those ones after your assignment, that is.
Hi, Ino.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. You know what? I've just joined in it because I just came back now, and I see that you were busy with the presentation. Ne? So is it possible that you can send us this presentation so that I can have a look at it as well?
Yeah. Yes, it's possible. You will get the presentation from James.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank
right.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Okay.
Any other question? Any other question before I leave? All right. Thank you very much. Let's meet next week. Over to you, Mr. James.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming in for the lecture. As usual, I'm sure most of you are part of our other lectures. The cost is 750 Rand per semester. You can pay it in installments of 250 each every month. What we are going to do is we are immediately going to try to focus on the assignment so that we can quickly do the assignment and be ready for submission by 22 April. Then after we are done with the assignments, then we're going to go into exam revision mode. As highlighted, we'll try to focus on the areas which the lecturer highlights will come into the exam so that by the day you get to the exam, you are ready for your exams. If there are any questions, you're free to post them in the group. Then any payments that are made, please send me the proof of payment so that I know that you have made a payment towards the lectures. Any questions for me before I close the meeting?
Thanks, James.
Hello,
Thank you.
James.
James, I just want to find out in relation to the payment. I did not get that. You said how much is it?
James, I think is on mute. Mr. James?
Ah.
Right. Yes, this class will be taking place every Saturday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That is when we'll be having this class. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a very good night. Let's meet next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.